Hi everybody, this is the AngryCOO with last week's news. Let's start off with some recession news. Since the beginning of talks of recession and the current raise in inflation rate, many large companies have seen some layoffs. And in those companies, we are talking about Amazon, which laid off 1% of its workforce. Meta laid off 13% of its workforce. Twitter laid off 50% of the workforce, and Peloton also laid off 12% of their workforce in the last month alone. Moving on to stock news. A couple of stocks that made some news last week were Foot Locker. Shares jumped by 7%. Coinbase shares dropped by 8% after Bank of America downgraded its signal, following probably the FTX debacle that happened last week.
Do we feel okay?
And finally, DraftKings stock gained 2% last week because when in doubt, if you're not going to gamble on crypto, just straight up gamble on sports. Moving on to Canadian news, specifically an exchange that happened last Wednesday between Xi Jinping, the leader of the Chinese Republic, and of course, our Premier Justin Trudeau. The conversation was shown to be friendly at best, but once upon translation, a completely different view was taken, and it was referring to some of the conversation that they had previously had been leaked to papers, according to Mr. Ping. But unfortunately, he doesn't understand how a free democracy in Canada works. This is also following news that the Canadian government asked 3 large Chinese holdings to remove themselves from mining interests in Canada. And finally, the weird news of the week. Donald Trump,
say hello to mommy,
the former president of the United States, officially announced his candidacy to the presidency of 2024 on Tuesday night at, of course, his residence in Mar-a-Lago. His new slogan is Magaga, which it means make America great and glorious again. And on that note, I bid you a very good week. And remember, it's getting cold out there. We're a frickin' toque.